So tell me, what's one thing you've done casually that ended up becoming a very big deal?
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
That would be the day I found out my dad was having extramarital affairs and I confronted him. So you see, growing up, my dad was a very good man. He provided, he showed up, like he did everything people would call being responsible. But as I grew older, I started noticing things that didn't match the kind of man I believed he was.
How?
Because he's always on late night calls and he doesn't answer the call in anybody's presence. And he's always focused on his phone smiling. Those were small things though, but they were consistent. That was when I knew for sure that my dad has two sides. And that created a lot of cold moments in our house. And my mom became quiet like someone that was carrying pains. Even though she still does everything a wife would do for her husband. She still smiles, but it looks fake. It felt like she knew something. And one night, my dad didn't come back from work with the excuse that he's covering 2 shifts, that the other person went on sick leave. That same night, my mom slept alone and I heard her praying. She said, God, whatever is going on, please don't let my home break, even if not for my sake, but for the sake of my children. That was when I knew that she knew everything. Moving on, my dad became too relaxed with this habit of his, thinking nobody knows. So I decided to do something about it, but I need concrete evidence. Not because I want to use the evidence against him, but because I don't want to end up passing the wrong judgment and causing more harm than it was. So one day I asked my dad to buy me data, but before then I took his phone and tried using my fingerprint on it, knowing fully well my fingerprint is not registered, so it will exceed the trial. So when he's trying to open the phone, he won't be able to use the fingerprint but his password. So I stood very, very close to him to see the password while he opens the phone.
Jesus.
So fast forward to a few weeks later, he plugged his phone and he was taking his bath. So I quickly took the phone, opened it and went through the phone. And I'm not going through the phone because I want to embarrass my dad or something. I just want to be sure I'm doing the right thing. And I was right, because I saw a message from a woman that is not my mom saying, are you coming tonight or I should sleep alone again? And I saw other conversations that proved I was right, but I didn't panic, I just dropped the phone. Because at that point, it wasn't even surprising anymore and I didn't tell anyone. I took more than 1 week thinking of ways on how to approach my dad without disrespecting him. Then when the right moment came, I called him, not at home, just a bar close to our house. It wasn't that late yet, so the place wasn't really busy. I started talking normal, then I went straight to the point. I said, Dad, I want to ask you a question that requires an honest answer. And he said, go ahead, what is it? And I said, Dad, if I grow up and marry a man like you as you are right now, and I stayed in the marriage, will you be happy I stayed? He didn't say anything. He was still trying to wrap his head around where the conversation is headed. And I said, because the love you taught me is not exactly what I'm saying. You have sons too. Imagine they grow up and become exactly like you, treating their wives the way you are treating mom. Would you feel fulfilled as a father? And I felt that hits hard because of his reaction. So at that point, I felt he understood where I was headed to. And then I said quietly, she knows. Your wife knows about everything.
Yeah.
And I was not the one that told her. And I think she knew before I even did. See, I don't give that man any space to even explain. I just told him she knows. She just chose to be quiet. Because I once heard her praying about it. At that point, I saw confusion, shame, and regret all over him. I told him, you're not just hurting her, but you're confusing me as well. Because if I accept this from any man tomorrow, it's because I learned this from you. So when I finished, he was already crying, but he was trying to suppress it because we're in public. So I hugged him and I said to him, "You are a good father and a good husband, but this is not you," and I left. So after that day, he became very, very quiet and cold, that anybody could tell something is eating him up. So one day he called me and said, "I've been thinking about everything you said, and I can't live like this anymore. What do I do?" And I told him the only way out is to face it, and you have to confess to mommy yourself. He said he has been thinking about it too, but he didn't know how to start. So I told him not to worry, we'll go together, and he agreed. So one Saturday, my younger brothers went out. Then he came to me and said he was ready, and we went to my mom together. And the moment we went there, my dad knelt down, and I immediately knelt down beside him. At first, he couldn't even talk. Then he eventually started talking. I can't accurately say everything, but I'll try my best not to mislead your audience.
Let's have it. Let's have it.
And he said, "I've been a terrible husband and a bad role model to the kids. I've been lying to you, disrespecting you, and taking advantage of your silence. And the worst part is you knew everything, but you stayed. So I'm sorry. Not just for what I did, but the kind of man I became in this house. I know I failed you and the kids, but I don't want to be that man anymore. So please just give me one chance to right my wrongs. And I promise you I'm going to use my remaining life to prove to you that this apology is real." At that point, I couldn't hold myself anymore. When I couldn't cry pass. So when he finished, I said, "Mom, please forgive Dad, because God has answered that prayer." So my mom stood up from the bed and ran to him and started crying. Not the cry of pain, but the cry of joy that finally he has realized his mistakes. At that point, she said, "I forgive you," and we all started crying, but I had to leave because if I stay, I go cry past all of them. So that was it though. And after that day, our home changed, but not overnight, gradually, but you could feel it. And honestly, I didn't know it's going to be this serious. I just felt to do what is right.
I'm proud of you, you know that.
Some months later, he called me one evening. He didn't say much. He just said, "Thank you for talking to me like you did. That you are a blessing to this family and you'll be one too to your husband," and he left. And he dropped something on the table. When he left, I took it. And guess what? It was a phone. Anyways, if there is one thing I learned from what had happened, is that people don't really change because you advise them to. In fact, you can shout, you can talk, and do whatever, but that doesn't force change. Real change happens when the person decides for themselves. And I realized something, the way you present the truth actually matters. Because if I had gone to my dad with anger or disrespect, he could have probably defended himself or shut me down. And there's 100% chances that it could have made everything worse. But instead, I made him see the result of what he was doing. Like, I didn't force anything on him, but I made him think and realize himself. And I allowed him to make that decision himself. Because when someone sees clearly and chooses to change on their own, that is the actual change we talk about. That's when I realized it's not just about saying the truth, but how you say it. Because the same truth that can fix something can also destroy it if it's not handled well.
Exactly.
So I didn't change my dad. I just made him realize the man he's supposed to be. And I'm here sharing this story because my dad actually suggested I do, so people will learn from his mistakes.
That's very good.
And my mom actually asked me to give you something.
Clap for yourself. Clap, 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 clap.
She said I should say hi, that she's a big fan and she loves what you do.